One second, guys. Let me make sure I can hear this correctly. Make sure my shit's not fucked up. Hello?
Hello?
All right, no echo. We're good.
Hello? All right, no echo. We're good.
Perfect. All right. I know usually I walk around when we're live streaming, but I figured I'd try to set something up in the crib just so I could switch between the both. Um, but as the title says, linguistic comparisons of Sumerian, Lovecraftian, and Thelemic language. We're continuing our study on the Simon Necronomicon. Like I said, I'm not saying you should believe anything in this book. I'm not saying it's all true or that you should practice it. But as always, in order to defeat the enemy, you must know the enemy. And there's no such thing as knowing too much. You know what I mean? That's my opinion. I don't think it's possible to know too much. You know what I mean? But so we're going to continue where we were. So Simon Necronomicon, still technically in the introduction. We're going to be on page XXXIX. So I believe that is page, well, it's not going to focus, but I believe it's page 39. Chart of comparisons. Showing some relationships to be found between the mythos of Lovecraft, the magic of Crowley, and the faith of Sumer. Lovecraft, Crowley, Sumer. Lovecraftian word Cthulhu. Thelemic comparison, the great beast is represented in Cathaw 666, and in Sumerian, Cthulhu or Cthulhu. In Lovecraft, we have the Ancient Ones. In Thelema, this would translate to Satan or Tatan, and in Sumer, Tiamat. Azathoth translates to Awas, and in Sumerian, Azag Thoth. The Dunwich Horror in Thelema translates to Corazon, and in Sumer to Pazuzu. The Lovecraftian horror has no comparison. The Lovecraftian Shub-Niggurath. Its comparison in Thelema is Pan, and its Sumerian counterpart is Shub-Ish-Niggurab. Out of space in Thelema is the Abyss, in Sumer is Absu or Nar Mataru. In Lovecraft, we have Ea. In Crowley, Eo, Iao. In Sumer, Ea, Jah, Ea, Lord of Waters. In Lovecraft, we have the five-pointed gray star carven. In Crowley, we have the pentagram, and in Sumer, we have the R or Ub, plow sign, the original pentagram and sign of the Aryan race. In Lovecraft, we have the Vermis Mysteris, in Crowley, the serpent, and in Sumer, Aram, the enemy, and the sea is chaos, Gothic orm or worm, the great serpent. This is, of course, by no means a complete list, but rather an inspirational sampling. Meditation upon the various things mentioned in the mythos will permit the scholar to draw his own conclusions. Research upon the etymology of both Lovecraft and Crowley's respective literature enables the occultist to discover the ancient names and numbers, for which much of his own familiar material. Note that Lovecraft may have heard of Crowley as hinted at darkly in his short story, The Thing on the Doorstep, in which he refers to a cult leader from England who had established a covenstead of sorts in New York. In that story, published in Weird Tales in 1936, the cult leader is closely identified with chthonic forces, is described as notorious, and linked to the strange fate that befell the protagonist, Edward Derby. Supplementary material to 777. The chart that follows is based on research presently available to the editor with regard to Sumerian and Assyro-Babylonian religions. Entries in parentheses refer to the state of correspondence before the advent of the elder gods, the race of Marduk, that is. It reflects the nature of the cosmos before the fall of Marduk from heaven, Names of zodiacal constellations are after Budge's renderings. Okay. 0 corresponds to Anu and Tiamat. The sphere of the primum mobile to Enlil and the Apsu. The sphere of the zodiac or fixed stars, Enki, Lamashi, Agigi. The sphere of Saturn, Adar. The sphere of Jupiter, Marduk. The sphere of Mars, Nergal. The sphere of the sun, Utu. The sphere of Venus, Inanna. The sphere of Mercury, Nebo. The sphere of the moon, Nana. Sphere of the elements, Kia. Air, Anna. Mercury, Gudud. Moon, Sin. Venus, Dlibat. Aries, Agru, Zuber. Taurus, Kakab u Alap Shame, Kingu. Gemini, Reu, Kinu, Shame u Tuame Rabuti, Viper. Cancer, Shitu, Snake. Leo, Kalbu Rabu, Lakamu. Virgo, Shiru, the Whirlwind. Jupiter, Umun Padu. Libra, Zabani Tum, the Ravening Dog. Water, Bador. Scorpio, Akrabu, the Scorpion Man. Sagittarius, Pa Bil Sag, the Hurricane. Capricorn, Suksor Mosh, the Fishman. Mars, Masta Baru. Aquarius, Gula, the Horned Beast. Pisces, Dilgan u Rakis Nuni, Weapon. The Sun, Shamash. Fire, Og. Saturn, Kaimanu. Bis, Earth, Kia. Bis, Spirit, Z. Notes on pronunciation. We cannot be absolutely certain how Sumerian and Akkadian were spoken, but many useful guidelines are available to the student, including the transliterated tablets found all over Mesopotamia. Basically, we can offer the following principles which should prove of value in reciting the foreign language instructions. Vowels. A as in father. E as in way. I as in antique. O as in boat, but rarely found. U as in Zulu. Consonants. Most are basically the same as in English. The Sumerians did not have a tablet as we know it, but they had developed a syllabary, very much like the Japanese kana script of today. In phonetic transliterations, the English spelling sought to approximate the Sumerian pronunciation. However, there are a few sounds which English does not possess, and which have been put into phonetic variations. Important examples below. X, as in the German ach. CH is the same as above. Q, as in like. K is the same as above. SH, as in shall. SS, as in perhaps lasso. A hissing S common to Arabic languages. Z, as in lots. A hard TS sound, not quite as in zoo. Remember, in the transliterations which follow, every letter must be pronounced. There are no schwas or silent syllables in Sumerian. Hence, Kia, K-I-A, is pronounced Ki-ya. Kia-manu is pronounced Ka-i-manu. Or, if spoken rapidly, the two initial vowel sounds slur into kig, rhyming with high. The incantation should be said carefully and slowly at first, to familiarize oneself with the tongue-twisting phrases. A mistake may prove fatal to the work. The spells where possible, the editor has taken every opportunity Sumerian or Akkadian translation of a given Greek charm. These will be given here. Also, the reader will find English translations of the Sumerian charms as they are given in the Necronomicon. Not all of the charms are available this way, and sometimes we have had to make do with near misses. Much of what is found here has come from the Maklu text, of which the only extant translation is in the German of Talkvist, Die Assyriske Besko Warun Sere, Maklu nach dem Originalen im British Museum, herausgegeben. Acta Societas Scientiarum Fenice, Tum XX number 6, Helsingforse, MDCCCXCV. The word Maklu or Maklu itself is controversial, but Talkvist seems to think that it does indeed mean burning, especially so as the incantations to be found therein invariably entail burning something, usually a doll made in the likeness of a witch or evil sorcerer that the magician wished to dispose of. Hence, we have here probably the archetype of the great burning times of the Inquisition, when people were condemned to a fiery death as witches and pagans. The chant, "Burn, witch, burn," can be found in the Maklu text in all its pristine glory. Indeed, Cthulhu calls. The conjuration, the binding of the evil sorcerers. Just 1 second, guys. For anyone that is watching this, I'm just going to do another sound check. Just make sure I'm not speaking too closely or too far away from the microphone. 1 second. I don't got. I know I'm a YouTuber, but I'm not gonna pay for fucking YouTube Premium, dog. Pay for fucking YouTube Premium, dog. Good. All right, we cool. All right, we good. The conjuration, the binding of the evil sorcerers. Alsi ku nushi alani mushiti. Iti kunu alsi mush itum kal altum ut tum. Alsi bar ar itum kablitum namaritum. Ash shu kashaptu ush kashipani. Eli nitum ubi ra'ani. Ili tari iya. Ush is su u eli iya. Eli ameri iya amru u sa naku. Imdi kula salelu musha u ura. Ku u imtani alu u pi iya. Upu unti pi iya iprusu. Me mashtiti iya umatu u. Elai li nubu u ziduti si ipti. Iziza ni ma ilani rabuti shima a tababi. Dini dina alakti limda. Epu ush salam kashapi iya ush kashapti iya. Sha epishia u mush tepishti iya. Ismas sarati. Sha mushi lipshuru ruksisha limnuti. Pisha lu u zal u. Lish anusha lu u tabtu. Sha ikbu u amat lemuti iya kimazalu litatuk. Sha ipushu kishpi kima tabti liksharmit. Ki ush rusha pu utu ru epshetusha suleku. Kal amatusha mala asari inahibit ikbu u elani mush itum. The conjuration, Silka, Shilka, Besa, Besa, or a most excellent charm against the hordes of the demons, etc. Arise, arise, go far away, go far away. Be shamed, flee, flee. Turn around, go, arise, and go far away. Your wickedness may rise to heaven like unto smoke. Arise and leave my body. From my body depart in shame. From my body flee. Turn away from my body. Go away from my body. Do not return to my body. Do not come near my body. Do not approach my body. Do not throng around my body. Be commanded by Shamash the mighty. Be commanded by Enki, Lord of all. Be commanded by Marduk, the great magician of the gods. Be commanded by the god of fire, your destroyer. May you be held back from my body. Another binding of the sorcerers. Sal mani ia ana pagri tapkida du pira. Sal mani ia Ana pagri taksira dupira. Sal mani ia, iti pagri tushni ila dupira. Sal mani ina ishti pagri tushni ila dupira. Sal mani ia, kimax pagri takbira tupira. Sal mani ia ana kulati tapkida dupira. Salmani ia ina igari tapksha ag dupira. Salmani ia ina askupati tushni ila dupira. Salmani ia ina bishaduri tapksha a dupira. Salmani ia ana gishbar tapkida dupira. The conjuration of the mountain of Mashu. May the mountain overpower you. May the mountain hold you back. May the mountain conquer you. May the mountain frighten you. May the mountain shake you to the core. May the mountain hold you in check. May the mountain subject you. May the mountain cover you. May the mountain fall on you. May you be held back from my body. Note: the original translator had noted the resemblance between the Greek word for Lord, kurios, and the Sumerian word for mountain, Kur, and for a type of underworld, chthonic, a monster which is also called Kur and which refers to the Leviathan of the Old Testament. Also, in this particular conjuration, the word for mountain is Shadu, Shaddai. The old serpent Kur is, of course, invoked every day by the Christians, Kyrie eleison. Common Sumerian words and phrases in English. Achcharu is vampire. Alal is destroyer. Allah Xul, evil god. Bara, begone. Dingir Khul, evil god. Edin na Zu, go to the desert, a form of exorcism. Galal is incubus. Gigim Sul, evil spirit. Gidim Sul, evil ghost. Idimu, demon. Idpa, fever. Kash Shaptu, Lartu, phantom. Lalartu, phantom. Lalasu, specter. Lilith, succubus. Maskim Sul, evil fiend, ambusher, or liar in wait. Mula Sul is evil devil. Rabishu, same as Maskim Sul. Telal, wicked demon or warrior. Uge, god of death. Uruku, larva. Utuk Sul, evil spirit. Si Dingir Ana Kanpa, spirit, god of the sky, remember. Zi Dingir Kia Kanpa, spirit, god of the earth, remember. Okay, man. Dang, guys. Couple more pages, and then we're starting the official Necronomicon. I'm excited. A word concerning the original manuscript. The editor and the publishers anticipate that there will be a demand at first for privileged views of the original Necronomicon, whether out of curiosity's sake or by nervous experimenters who will be certain that we did not copy a sigil correctly, etc. Let us hasten to state at this point that the original MS is neither the property of the editor nor the publishers. We were given the right to translate and publish this work with as much additional and explanatory material as needed, but not the right to hold the MS up to public inspection. We regret that this is the case, but we also feel that it might be advisable in reference to the dangerous character of the work involved. Perhaps one day, a book will be written on the hazards of possessing such an original work in one's home or office, including the fearful hallucinations, physical incapacities, and emotional malaise that accompanied this work from the onset of the translation to the end of its final published form. Therefore, as a matter of policy, we cannot honor any requests to see the Necronomicon in its original state. All right. Banishings. Read this section carefully. In the interim period between the translation and the publication of this work, the editor, along with a circle of initiates in another discipline, undertook to experiment with the rituals and forces outlined in the Necronomicon. In using the material alone, or within a Western ceremonial structure, such as the Golden Dawn system, we came upon startling discoveries in both cases. There are no effective banishings for the forces invoked in the Necronomicon itself. The rituals, incantations, formulae of this book are of ancient origin, comprising some of the oldest written magical workings in Western occult history. The deities and demons identified within have probably not been effectively summoned in nearly 6,000 years. Ordinary exorcisms and banishing formula have thus far proved extremely inadequate. This by experienced magicians. Hence the following recommendations. The religion of the ancient Sumerian peoples seems to have been lunar oriented, a religion or religio magical structure of the night, of darkness in a sense. Invocations using solar formula have proved thus far effective in successfully banishing Necronomicon demons and intelligences. For instance, the Kaddish prayer of the Jewish faith contains some solar elements that have proved resilient to inimical genii, and the vibration of the Lord's Prayer for Christians is also a workable method. We suggest that individual operators utilize an equivalent solar, i.e., positive light invocation from their own religion or the religion of their ancestors, should they no longer have a religion, or should they have changed it in their lifetime. For best practical purposes in the beginning, for those intent on actually using the rituals contained herein, it is advisable to take special care in the construction of the magical circle and of all magical defenses. A preliminary period of purification is well in order before attempting anything in this grimoire. Persons of unstable mental condition or unstable emotional condition should not be allowed, under any circumstances, to observe one of these rituals in progress. That would be criminal and perhaps even suicidal. One of our colleagues was fearfully attacked by his dog directly following a fairly simple and uncomplicated formula from this book. This is definitely not a Gilbert chemistry set. The method of the Necronomicon concerns deep, primeval forces that seem to pre-exist the normal archetypal images of the tarot trumps and the Golden Dawn's talismanic figures. These are forces that developed outside the Judeo-Christian mainstream and were worshipped and summoned long before the creation of the Kabbalah as we know it today. Hence, the ineffectiveness of the Golden Dawn banishing procedures against them. They are not necessarily demonic or qliphothic in the sense that these terms are commonly understood in the West. They just simply represent power sources, largely untapped, and thus far ignored by 20th century mainstream consciousness. The results of any experimentation with this book, as well as practical suggestions concerning its rituals, are welcomed by its publishers. Here we have a bibliography and suggested reading list. Yeah, I mean, that's it. And then we get into the actual Necronomicon. So I'll just read it off for you guys, anyways. And then that will be the end of this stream, and we can officially begin the Necronomicon. By no means complete, but representative, alphabetically by author. New Handbook of the Heavens by Bennett and Rice. Amulets and Talismans by E.A. Budge. Book 4 by Crowley. The Book of Thoth by Crowley. Liber al vel Legis by Crowley. And Magic by Crowley. Oriental Religions in Roman Paganism by F. Cumont. Das Alphabet in Mystic und Magie by Das Dornseif. The Book of the Zodiac by E.S. Drower. The Origins of Oriental Civilizations by W.A. Fairservice. La Magie Assyrienne by C. Fossey. La Pentagramme Pythago. Okay, I'm not the greatest at French, but I'll try. Les pentagrammes pythagoréens sa diffusion sont employés dans la syllabae cuneiforme by A. de la Fure. Les deux de l'âme correctio des travaux relatifs à la philologie et à l'archéologie égyptienne et assyrienne by Genelach. Aleister Crowley and the Hidden God by K. Grant. The Magical Revival by K. Grant. Near Eastern Mythology by J. Gray. The Leiden Papyrus by Thompson and Griffith. Babylonian and Assyrian Religion by S. H. Hook. Babylonian Magic and Sorcery by L. King. History Begins at Sumer by S. N. Kramer. Mythologies of the Ancient World by S. N. Kramer. Sumerian Mythology by S. N. Kramer. La magie et la divination chez les Chaldeo-Assyrianes by Laurent. Science Occult, La magie chez les Chaldeans by F. Lenormand. Tales of the Cthulhu Mythos by H.P. Lovecraft. At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. The Dunwich Horror by H.P. Lovecraft. The Lurker at the Threshold by H.P. Lovecraft. Gilgamesh by H. Mason. The Exact Sciences and Antiquity by O. Negebauer. Near Eastern Texts Relating to the Old Testament by J. Pritchard. The Chaldean Oracles of Zoroaster by Sepere Auth. The World of Babylon by C. Segnobos. Magic, Supernaturalism, and Religion by K. Seligman. Oriental Magic, The Secret Lore of Magic, and the Sufis by I. Shah. Die Assyrisch Besh waren Guseri Maklu nach dem Originalem im British Museum, Hareg Segegabin, Acta Societis Scientarum Phoenici by K. L. Talk. Keep in mind, I know that I sound stupid trying to pronounce this shit. I'm fully aware, but I just got to keep this shit pushing, okay? Reports of the Magicians and Astrologers of Nineveh and Babylon by R.C. Thompson. Semitic Magic by R.C. Thompson. The Devils and Evil Spirits of Babylonia by R.C. Thompson. All right, guys. That is the complete introduction to the Necronomicon. We've completely got through all of that. We're now beginning the actual... There we go. The actual Necronomicon is what we'll be getting next. Starting off, obviously, the testimony of the mad Arab. But, all right, guys. I mean, this was obviously a rather boring one. We didn't have too many people in here, and honestly, I didn't expect many people to watch this because really this is kind of just the end of the introduction. We went through the list of comparisons, reading recommendations. There was a couple interesting conjurations and banishings in there, but overall, it didn't really matter too much unless you actually intend on practicing the magic yourself. So that will be the end of this stream, guys. And I'll see you in the next one tomorrow. We will be beginning the actual Necronomicon. All right. As always, I love you guys. Doses.